Cool.
Wait, well, you should probably say what we're talking about.
No.
So,
Yeah, we just talk about it.
these kids are great. Give them an A.
Tim Lennon walk.
Here already, or do we need to look at it? The one from Matt.
They're both up here.
Does Tim Lennon walk like that?
Yes, he does.
All right. Well, when we interview him, we'll add that in.
It's Tim Lennon. Are you honored to be like the focal point of it?
Sure, man. Lenny wasn't the focal point of it.
He was like he was right there.
We were just at the end.
Yeah,
So we got the picture. Yeah.
I ended up talking to coaches that our kids wanted to do something, and then it went back and forth, and it ended up just us interlocking arms and showing togetherness. We didn't want to single anybody out. It was a dividing thing in our country, and it was people were picking sides, who should be allowed to do what during an anthem, and then we decided, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had a general consensus that we wanted to all do it.
Wahconah, very, very 97%, white. Putnam, 97% Hispanic, African American. And we stood for the flag, and it was that simple. It was nothing more than that, but us standing together.
Okay. Well, that's more than your reflection look like.
I was kind of expecting to be in the picture, not gonna lie.
So this is from this year?
Yes, ma'am.
The Western Mass Championship for football.
That we won.
Back to
We did
back.
win.
Back to back.
Back to back.
Coming off of that.
Next year, I feel
We're
like
very
we have
confident.
a better chance.
State championship.
State championship.
State
championship.
championship.
State championship.
Yep.
Second week of January, hitting the weights.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot of hard work.
There's a lot of hard work.
That is a lot of hard work. It did start the year off right, made everything feel like just came together, just clicked.
When you think back on the football season, it's something you remember that we
Yep.
won that.
It's very memorable. So, and then nationals.
No, they don't even have that.
Oh, they don't have nationals.
How did having middle schoolers impact you as a high schooler or the other high schoolers?
It was definitely really weird at first. They're a lot younger than us, and it took a little time for us to come together as a team, but eventually we kind of took them under our wings, and it ended up being fun. So I think it'll be interesting for the future to have middle schoolers on teams. Cross country was kind of the guinea pig, we were the first people to have it, and they were kind of thrown in the middle of the season. But I think eventually it will be a good thing for the school. Because I was a captain, I had a lot of responsibility. I had to go pick them up from Neskis, show them how we did everything. So it definitely increased my role a lot on the team, which was stressful sometimes, but I think it was a good thing.
The fall play. Wasn't Julia Drury a big part of that?
This was my first one. It was really fun doing a comedy. It made me more excited to do the musical because I was excited to start something new after.
Alright, so juniors did Turkey Fest this year, and Barrick was the star of our show. It went very well.
Big December.
It's dumb.
We were inducted into NHS in the fall, and in December is when it really took off. We did empty bowls and the pancake breakfast.
Shidahari, what do you want in the new building?
Windows!
This is Mr. Therian.
Talk about the Wahconah Building Committee this year.
The building committee was just being formed. They were looking for a bunch of people to represent different demographics. So I hit a couple of check boxes for them. I live in Dalton, so I'm a resident. I have a child who's in the school district. I'm a teacher. And I think they really wanted somebody who knew about science labs, because that is one of the features of our school that's lacking, and one of the things that we really need in a new Wahconah is better science facility. The building committee has been going on for a couple of years now, and the work this year has been writing what's called an ed plan, and that is a document that goes to the state that explains who we are as a school and where we want to go. and they're going to give us some feedback. And that's what's going to help us figure out what kinds of classrooms we're going to have, how the school is set up. The architects who are working for us have come up with a bunch of different design options, and we just recently narrowed it down to 5 options. So those 5 options are going to be presented to the community, and they're going to give a chance to give some feedback about what they like and don't like about each of the designs. September 12th is when we have to pick one school option. As we get further into the next step, there's going to be an opportunity for students to have some input on some of the choices. I would expect in the next school year there'll be more opportunities for students to get involved in the process.
Are you filming me now?
No.
Oh, good. After 20 years, I think it's important because I think one thing, I think kids look forward to it because it's a change in pace. It comes in a lousy month of the year, February, except vacation is the following week, which is a good thing. It's something we can't do every day. So I think that pulling all the resources together into that program is a big reminder. It's emotional for some people, which is a good thing. It makes some people uncomfortable, which I think is a very good thing.
Yeah.
Because we're creatures of comfort, and we need to get out of our comfort zone about difference and otherness.
I'm gonna forget everything I said. Okay, go. Sam is a member of the freshman class, so his parents and guidance in the freshman class kind of came together and decided that we would have a week where we promoted awareness for leukemia and also raised some funds for CAMS. We did things like sell the ribbons to promote awareness for people to wear. Everybody got together and made a big card for him we sent home, and all of the monetary donations went straight to his family for his care. I think it was a great way to get the freshman class involved in something that was school-wide, and it really got them linked together with the upperclassmen, so they were all kind of involved in the same type of project.
I'll turn around! No, this fall we got second place in the state, and if you get a certain score, you are able to win a bid to nationals. So we fundraised, and
because we didn't have any money at all.
Because we never really thought this was possible.
Yeah.
And then so we fundraised all the money, and then ended up going in February. It really made our year a lot busier than expected, but the support from the community definitely was impactful on us because it showed like how much people actually care about us. This winter season, we actually we competed against, how many teams was it?
14, I think.
14 teams, and we worked really hard over the past month after coming back from nationals and having only a few weeks to learn our routine. But we actually won, and now we're state champions.
Yeah, nice. But the competition before, we just kept getting second place, and then we won first place in states. It was really fun.
So this is our cafeteria. And these are the people who were unfortunately killed in the Parkland shooting.
I was looking online and stuff, and I saw that other schools were doing it, and I started talking to Ms. Shannon about it, and I realized that it was something that we needed to do. So we got a ton of people together, and we had meetings in Ms. Shannon's room, and we just kind of planned it.
Mrs. Shannon was organizing a lot of it, so I heard her talking about it and students talking about it.
My friends are the class officers, and they were planning it, so they said they needed people to say a speech. And I was like, hey, I know how to write a speech.
I didn't feel like it would do anything. I didn't feel like if Wahconah did anything, it would really make a difference with people who make decisions. And I especially didn't feel like me walking out would make a specific difference with anything.
I think that it brought a lot of awareness to it. It obviously didn't stop gun violence or anything, but it made a lot of people aware about what's going on, and it motivated a lot of people to get involved.
I think it sort of put us out there and said that we are in support of the communities who are fighting for it, because in Massachusetts we already have a lot of laws. In the other states like Florida and Texas, they don't have as many laws, but it basically said that we stand with them and we are in support of them.
In general, maybe all of them together, yeah.
Now today, June 4th, do you wish that you walked out?
No.
I became more interested in politics, and that's a reason why I'm going to Girls State, is because I want to invest myself more in politics, and I think that really helped me find what I am.
It was a great opportunity, and I might be writing my college essay about it. So.
Give Let me go.
Go.
No, that really was a great musical. I went to every single show because my best friend Joe Wilson, shout out to Ellison Wilson, by the way. He was like a lead in it. I was so proud of him. First year doing it.
First of all, we were going to do a different musical, but when we changed it, it's something you would imagine would be more for younger children, so we usually don't do a show like that. But I think it was interesting to do one that was centered more for children. We started in December and ended around April, so it was a very long season. I looked forward to going to rehearsal every day. But, yeah.
So freshman year, I was told by a teacher
Mr. Plank, high five. Yeah.
that teacher would not like to comment on this situation as they didn't feel that it happened.
It was dark.
The bathrooms were closed because the girls kept sneaking in the boys' bathroom to poop in the urinals.
Let me tell you why the bathroom situation was the way it was. About 10 years ago, the smoking of real cigarettes was out of control. Previous administrations shut some of the bathrooms down to try to control the flow and basically monitor the situation better.
Was it needed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Building codes are 14 people to one toilet, and we had like 250 girls to 3 toilets.
And I had met with several students.
It started when we made a petition, and we got a lot of girls and guys, and we got some teachers to sign it.
Who apparently had gotten a petition together, but they brought it to me, but I just didn't know anything about it.
He said he would try to get a camera in by next year.
I said, that Mr. Messina and I were looking into it. At the time, I did not know whether or not we were going to be able to do it before the end of the school year because I didn't know whether or not we were going to get the cameras in time. But that was the honest answer, because one thing I don't do ever is make promises to people, because I can't. I just can't.
We came back after April break, and there was no camera, and there was no more bathrooms, and there were still lines for the girls' bathroom. So then my mother wrote something up, and the next day they put up a camera and opened the bathrooms.
They're in Mr. Messina's office, but never do someone stand there and look at them. But you can have recordings to go back, because funny business happens in there, and you can narrow down who was in there.
Now we have more, so that's better.
Your first year doing Unified Track?
Any sort of physical activity related after school event, so.
I think the first season went really well. Obviously they did well. I think it has a positive effect. I think it got a lot of kids that haven't played sports before to play sports. We ended up with 24 kids in the roster, which is good. A lot of the kids in the team, with and without disabilities, hadn't played a sport before. So by having them participate in a school activity, I think that's definitely a good thing. There's a lot of pride in our school in general, and I think this allowed a bunch of students to share in that.
They're so cute.
All right, you ready?
The Syrian Refugee Portrait Project is actually through the Memory Project, and I found out about it by getting a postcard in the mail from the Memory Project. And they reach out to schools all over and anyone who really wants to participate to paint portraits of refugees from around the world. And this time, the refugees that we were given photos of were from Syria. These children all had these bright, beautiful smiles, and when the portraits got sent to us, it was like Christmas. And myself and the students were so excited. And then we used these photographs that they sent to us, and we did acrylic paintings of them. We sent them back to the Memory Project, and then they hand-delivered them to the children in Syria. Then they formulated this video, and they sent it to us, which was just like so heartwarming and wonderful. It was just a reminder of the Syrian crisis in the world, and to see the faces of these kids, and to know that there's these children on the other side of the world going through so much, and this was a small thing that we could do for them. For my students, one of my students, she told me that of all the cool projects she did this year, that this one was going to be the one that she would remember forever. Maybe they could connect to someone on the other side of the world and, make a difference.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
All right, I'm here today with anonymous individual number 1, who was a part of the recent juuling scandal here at Wahconah. Could you please just start off by telling us what happened?
Me and 3 other kids were on our way to a game on the bus. We were caught drooling. Suspended for 5 games of baseball, 1 game of football, couldn't go to prom.
Do you think that was a fair punishment?
I think the suspension was fair. I don't think being able not to go to prom was fair. I'd say the majority of people have at least tried juuling.
Where's the most popular place in school to jewel?
Of course, the bathroom.
The bathroom? There's a lot of juuling going on in the bathroom?
Yes.
You ready? I'm here today with Miss Shannon to talk about prom.
I'm the class advisor with Miss Sweigel, so I just give advice where the officers needed it. I think it's a school tradition. I think the date is a tradition. The upperclassmen look forward to it. I think a lot of students look forward to promposals and stuff like that. So I think it impacts student life in terms of this is the dance where we have really, really good participation for this one.
What's up? I'm Ethan Wesley. This year's senior assembly was really awesome. Great program. Kids in the junior class spent a couple of weeks preparing a funny skit of all the seniors. We had a ceremony for the flags where all the kids brought in a flag and we sang a song. Also had a great reading by Simon Nealand and Mr. Riley, who is part of the education board in Massachusetts. The event overall was very, very good, and Bradshaw's been doing this for years now and just keeps getting better. Thank you.
I think that the overall tone and tenor of the school is good and positive because I think the staff and students and families make it that way. And I think sometimes you get caught up and you don't see the forest through the trees and you don't realize that this is actually a pretty awesome place and a great place to learn. Because it's the school you go to every day, you know, and it's like you did it with your family. I mean, you did it with your family every night. You know, Mom made chicken parm again, but there's going to come a day when you go off to college and you look back and you're going to miss the chicken parm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A horrible example, but that's what I'm going to go with.
There's America's sweetheart, Bobby Archambault.
This is Danny Orlando.
No, I was there!
To the urinal, and I'm going to show.
Just walk behind her.
You can go.
Gotta get these for the blooper reel.
What are you guys doing?
Are you taking a video?
Yeah.
Okay, this is what happens at Wahconah.
Here we go.